The familiarity with the political institutions of the colonial rule also helped develop an agreement over the institutional design. The familiarity means the people, they become familiar about the political institution like a court and making the law like that things, and the provincial head and means like a state head like that things. People was aware about it, so it was very easy to agree with or develop an agreement over the institutional design. The British rule had given voting right only to few people, not only here in India. Up to 1930 in England also they never given right to vote to ladies. Then we asked that one in 1928 or 1931 here in India, how they will accept all these things. In that their country itself, the many people they never given or right to vote. The same thing we are asking to them, we want to get. So it was very difficult. On that base, the British had introduced very weak legislature. They made legislature, they given permission to make the provincial or all 8 provinces also they given permission to make them legislature with as a legislature assembly, and it was a weak one because they given the right to vote to the few people. So all sections of the society not becoming the part of the legislature. Elections were held in 1937 to provincial legislatures and the ministries all over British India. Means we can see 1937 onwards the elections in 2 level, provincial level as well as the central level, and in that also we got the few members, they are got the permission to vote. Then these were not fully democratic government. What the British given permission given, and we started to select our representative, and they started to speak to British people about independence, but it was not really a democratic. Why? All people they never got the chance to right to vote. But the experience gained by Indians in the working of the legislative institutions proved to be very useful for the country in the setting up its own institution and working in them. So we understood that how we should work. We should get like the 2-tier system, one in the provincial level, one in the central level like that things. The leaders they understood how we should work and how we want to design our institutions and how we should design our working functioning of the institution like that things they understood. So it was a really a what we can say experiential study, or we can say like that internship for our leaders to understand how they want to design or how they want to work with the new independent country. That is why the Indian Constitution adopted many institutional details and procedures from the colonial law, like the Government of India Act 1935. The what is given and Government of India Act, it is given like that the central and legislature provincial and central level election and other things like that detail. The same thing, the institutions and the procedures they are taking. Even in the school we are wearing the uniforms, or we can see the court they are or in the police station if you are going, they are saluting the higher authority like that things. From where we taken, it is we adopted from colonial rule. And years of thinking and the deliberations on the framework of the constitution had another benefit. What we many years we was thinking, means 1928 we drafted first constitution, means before that again we went back to 20 years. Before 20 years onwards we started to see small seeds of constitution, and after 20 years we are coming the first growth of the constitution. They are drafting the first constitution. Again 31 they are giving the resolution on the Karachi session. That is the second step of growth of our constitution. Then we are coming with the this Government of Indian Act in 1935. These are the stepping stones of becoming our Indian constitution. So we want to think from 1909 or 1905 onwards, it is a long journey about the framework of our constitution. And then deliberation of the framework of the constitution had another benefit, because it is many years taken and many debates and again discussions, debates, it is going on. So we got some benefit in our constitution also. Our leaders gained confidence to learn from other countries. Our leaders started to think, we can't make our own constitution from us. So what we want to do, we want to go and learn about other country constitution, but on our own terms. What all things they said in their country, that we want to convert to the situation of India, or we want to take the ideas from them that we want to transform to Indian situation. Like that, the leaders, they got confidence for what to learn about other countries' constitution and how we can transform or change that situation to Indian situation. Many of our leaders were inspired by the ideals of French Revolution and the practice of parliamentary democracy in Britain and the Bill of the Rights in USA. The things from in which countries we are taking the French Revolution ideas, like the equality, fraternity, like that things. The practice of the parliamentary democracy, that is the having the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, like that, under the leadership of the Prime Minister, like that things. And we are having the President also, and like the Queen of Britain, like that is the system of parliamentary democracy. And the Bill of Rights, the citizens means fundamental rights, what we are saying here in India, that is US, in America they are saying Bill of Rights, here in India we are saying fundamental rights. All these things we taken from, the ideas taken from other different countries. The socialist revolution in Russia had inspired many Indians to think of shaping a system based on the social and economical equality. From Russia we taken that word socialist. In India we are following the socialist India. And others on the base of equality, that is we can see in the maximum that one in the Russian Revolution. And we know the 5-year plans, like that things we are adopted from Russia. And yet they were not simply imitating what others had done. At each step they were questioning whether these things suited to our country. All these factors contributed to making the making of our constitution. So they did study and they understood the some of the qualities of that constitution. Then what they done, each and every step they was asking question, is it suitable to our country, is it needed for our country, like that. All these factors help to make our own constitution. Okay, next topic it is the Constituent Assembly. If I am starting that one, I don't think to complete it by okay, we'll continue. We'll try our level best. Okay, the Constituent Assembly. Who then were the makers of the Indian Constitution? Who are the members of the committee of the Indian Constitution that we are going to see? You will find here very brief sketch of some of the leaders who played a prominent role in making of the Indian Constitution. We have seen in both sides many leaders what was their contribution, like that. And drafting of the document called the Constitution was done by an assembly of the elected representative, very carefully, representative called the Constituent Assembly. Who made Constitution? That is the assembly, an assembly of the elected representative, and that assembly was known as the Constituent Assembly. Elections to the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946. 1 year before Indian independence, we elected the Constituent Assembly. Its first meeting was held in December 1946. Soon after, the country was divided into India and Pakistan. The Constituent Assembly was also divided into Constituent Assembly of India and Pakistan. When country divided into two, India and Pakistan. This Constituent Assembly also divided into two because some of the members from Pakistan, they want to go back to their own country, and like that division we done. The Constituent Assembly that wrote the Indian Constitution had 299 members in the Indian Constitution Makers Committee or the Constituent Assembly. In that 299 members was there. The Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26th November 1949, but it came into effect on 26th January 1950. They started writing of Constitution 1946, and 1947, after the independence, we made that two separate group, and Indian leaders, they submitted their constitution. We Assembly adopted the constitution by November 26, 1949, and it came to and started to practice by January 26, 1950. Means we taken again 3 more months to study or read and give the awareness among people like that. To mark these days, we celebrate January 26th as Republic Day in every year. Why we are celebrating January 26th as the Republic Day? In that day, we adopted and started to practice our constitution. Why should we accept the constitution made by this assembly more than 6 decades ago? Next question, normally we are thinking like that, what all things they are written 1940, 49 or 50, that is many years before, and why we want to follow that one now, or how we can accept it? We have already noted one reason above. The constitution does not reflect the view of its members alone. It is not the view of the members who written in 60 years before or 80 years before. It is not like that. It is the real soul of India. They studied about the past of India. They studied about different country constitution. All together we made our Indian constitution. So it expressed a broad consensus of its time. Many countries of the world had to rewrite their constitution afresh because of the basic rules were not acceptable to all major social groups or political parties. Many countries, what they done, they changed their constitution. Even if you are thinking about Sri Lanka, when they become independent 1948, they made a constitution and they started to rule, and again it went back in the majority and rule. Means there is 2 language speaking people, major 2 language speaking people. One is Tamil, that is minority people, and the Sinhala, that is the majority people. And Sinhalas normally maximum they are Buddhist people and very rich, and they said like that they want to get all the privileges because in number they are more. And slowly it is came to the civil war of this one Sri Lanka. Then they was fighting each other. Then after that again in LTT and other groups it formed there in Sri Lanka. Then that time many refugees they came to India because many Tamil Tamil people or Indian people, they went for the different work in Sri Lanka in the time of colonial rule, and this usually known as the Tamil speaking, like the Indian Tamilians, like that they are knowing in Sri Lanka. So like that situations was there. Then they was making the amendment of the constitution or rewriting of the constitution, like that things. Not only one country, many countries it happened because major people they can't, or many people they can't accept the views or basic things of the constitution. That's why in some other countries the constitution exists as a mere piece of paper. In some country that is merely like China, like that they were who are the leaders, they are ruling the country, they are not thinking about the people. Then no one actually follows it. The experience of our constitution is different. Over the last half a century, several groups have questioned some provisions of the constitution. Now also we are used to ask like that, why we want to give the reservation, why this, why that, like that we are asking question. But no large social groups or political party has ever questioned the legitimacy of the constitution itself. Legitimacy means the power of getting power as a supreme power. No political parties, no one political parties or social groups means as a large in number, they never ask the supremacy of our own constitution. This is an unusual achievement for any constitution. And the second reason for accepting the constitution is that the Constituent Assembly represented the people of India. We said like that Constituent Assembly was the elected members, that the members was elected by the people. It was the elected representatives of Indian. So it was really the representation of Indian people. There was no universal adult franchise at that time, so that the Constituent Assembly could not have chosen directly by all the people of India, even though it was elected members, but the limitation was it is not was directly election. It was elected mainly by the members of existing provincial legislature that we mentioned above, and we taken the Constituent Assembly from the legislature members was there, elected members was there. From that, in provincial level, from them we are selecting the Constituent Assembly. This ensured a fair geographical share of members from all the region. When we seen this one, the name of the major members of the constitution makers, and in that we can see all the part of the means from Jammu Kashmir to south, or from east to west participation we can see, means all the geographical areas, or if you are saying like that all the states or provincial from all the province also representative was there. Then the assembly was dominated by the Indian National Congress, the party that led India's freedom struggle. Who was leading the India's freedom struggle? That was Indian National Congress. And this assembly also dominated many maximum members from the Indian National Congress only. But the Congress itself included a variety of political groups and opinion. For example, Gandhiji and Nehruji, if you are taking both, in Gandhiji he was thinking about self-reliant and we should work our own things like that. But Nehruji was thinking like that, little bit socialist thinking. Those who are rich, they want to take their they want to share their things with the poor. Like that things thinking was there. They was traveling in two variant path. In Gandhiji is saying we want to work out, we want to do hard work, and we want to find out our livelihood by doing any type of work, like that Gandhiji is saying. But Nehruji was saying like that we want to make the trade unions and want to work together, organize ourselves to become the powerful, like that things he was saying. Okay, like that many members having the different opinions. Again, Subhash Chandra Bose, he was saying like that we want to take the weapons and want to fight against the British rule, not skipping like that non-violence and satyagraha, like that thing. Like that many members having the different opinions, and that all together we can see in the National Congress. If you are taking any national parties, we can see all these characteristics nowadays. The assembly had many members who did not agree with the Congress. Many members, they was not ready to agree with Congress. In social terms too, the assembly represented members from different language groups, caste, class, religion and occupations. We know the one by one we will take language groups. If you are taking like that, here South Indian languages and North Indian languages and Northeastern side languages, all these people, they are coming together and sitting together. They can't understand their language each other. That was the condition, one thing. Then caste, all the main caste and subcaste of Indian society, and classes means economically poor, rich and middle class, like that things. Then religion, all the major religions of India, like that Muslim, Hindu, Christian, then Buddhist, Jainist, Sikh, like that all the religious people was there. Then different occupation, those who was doing different occupation, we can see the social activist, lawyer, like that many members as the leaders, even as the leaders of the Constituent Assembly also. So all these things was there, and it was with really this unity and diversity of India, the first Constituent Assembly itself. Even if the Constituent Assembly was elected by universal adult franchise, its composition would not have been very different. If you are having the permission to select by every member, then also my condition was more or less same. Okay. Then finally, the manner in which the Constituent Assembly worked gives a sanctity to the Constitution. The Constituent Assembly worked in the systematic, open and consensual manner. Means they are working in a systematic, they are studying in one by one thing, and from different constitution, India, all the Indian history, then open discussions and questioning, then making the convictions among all the members, then only they was moving to the next step. First, some basic principles were decided and agreed upon. The basic values or basic principles of Indian Constitution, they decided first, then they agreed. Then a drafting committee chaired by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared a draft constitution for discussion. Then after the accepting the basic principles, they are appointing one committee that is known as the Constitution Drafting Committee, and who was the chairman? That Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and they drafted the constitution. Several rounds of through discussions took place on the draft constitution, and close by close, means all the Constituent Assembly was sitting together, and close by close and sentence by sentence they was reading, and they was discussing, they was questioning. More than 2,000 amendments were considered. How many? 2,000. Now itself it is 114 amendment only we made after independent constitution we made after that. Before itself, how many amendment? More than 2,000 amendment they said to the drafting committees, and the members deliberated for 114 days spread over 3 years. They spent many days, means 114 days, means more than one term of our school days. That much means that many days they spent for the discussions only about the constitution. Every document presented and every word spoken in the Constituent Assembly had been recorded and preserved. What are things they done for the constitutions making, that everything recorded and preserved. These are called Constituent Assembly debates, and that we are it is available in the archives of Parliament, and it is known as the Constituent Assembly debates. What do you mean by Constituent Assembly debates? That every document presented and every word spoken in the Constituent Assembly recorded and preserved, that is known as the Constituent Assembly debates. When printed, these debates were 12 bulky volumes. It is bigger than our constitution, that much big book it was. These debates provides a rationale behind every provisions of the constitution. These are used to interpret the meaning of the constitution. This now also we are using to interpret the meaning. Some group of the people, when they are asking some doubts, or when they are making some issues related to constitution, that time we are taking this one and using in the court they will take that one, or in the Parliament they will take it, and they will explain with the help of this one, word to word and close to close of our constitution. So we will continue next day. Thank you.